Hi guys, my name is Kamal. I'm going to be explaining the week 6 math AMS quiz. Starting with question 1, they gave you f of x is equal to 18 x squared 1 plus x. 18 x squared over 1 plus x, which is the rule of u over v, which is equal to u prime v minus v prime u over v squared. First, you get the point of u prime, v, and v prime. U is equal to 18x. U prime is the derivative of 18x, which is 36x. V is 1 plus x, and v prime is a derivative of 1 plus x, which is 1. Because derivative of 1 is gone, and derivative of x is 1. And then you replace it in this formula, which will be u prime, which is 36x, times v, which is 1 plus x, minus v prime, which is 1, times u, which is 18x squared, over v squared, which is 1 plus x to the power of 2. Here you found y prime, and they said y prime of 2, so x is 2. So instead of just timesing it all, you could, but don't do it, and just replace 2 by x. So it will be 36 times 2 plus 1 plus 2 minus 1 times 18 times 2 to the power of 2 over 1 plus 2 to the power of 2. You put it on the calculator and you'll get 16. Okay. Question number 2 gives you this 20 times radical of x squared plus 36. First of all, change the radical into exponent, so it will be 20 times x squared plus 36 to the power of 1 over 2. You know that the power of a and x is equal to a n over x. That's the formula to find the exponent from a radical. And then here, x squared plus 36 to the power of 1 over 2 is the formula of an, the chain rule, which is equal to n to the power of minus 1 and minus 1 times u prime. And you'll get, so x squared plus 36 to the power of 1 over 2 is equal to n, which is the exponent, which is 1 over 2, times u, which is x squared plus 36, to the power of 1 over 2 minus 1 is negative 1 over 2, times u prime, which is, and here u prime would be equal to 2x. Okay, so it will be times 2x. And then you solve it, you times 2x by 1 over 2, it will be x squared plus 36 to the power of negative 1 over 2. Now you found this, you found it, and then the 20, the start, you put it now, 20 times x2 plus 36 to the power of negative half. You should never ever leave a exponent negative in the here. So what you do is you move it down into a fraction, which will be 20 times x over x squared plus 36 to the power of half, because the negative is now gone, and anything to the power of half is radical, so it's 20 times x over 20 times x over radical of x squared plus 36. That's y prime. You found it. And now they said to replace y prime as 8. So replace it as 8. So y prime of 8 is equal to 20 times 8 over radical of 8 squared plus 36. If you put this in the calculator, you'll get 16. And you'll get 20 times 8 over 10 which is equal to 16. Question number 3. Here, it's also u over n, u over v, my bad, which is u prime v minus v prime u over v squared. So it will be, you find the points first, u prime, v, and v prime. So u is 200. U prime is the derivative of 200, which is nothing, because it's a number. A derivative of a number is nothing. V is x4, and v prime with the derivative of x power 4 is 4x3. Now replace it. So u prime is nothing, and we'll leave it. And v, which is x4, minus v prime, which is 4x3, times u, which is 200, over v squared, which is x to the power of 4 to the power of 2. X to the power of 4 to the power of 2. And then here they instead of just like now timesing the 4 by 200 and doing it all, they said that it's x is negative 2. So you put x as negative 2 in the thing that you just got. So 2 to the power of 4 minus 4 times 2 to the power of 3 times 200 over 2 to the power negative 2. Oh, صح, it's negative 2, my bad. Negative 2 to the power 4 to the power of 2. You put it in the calculator, and it will be, wait, 2 times 2 is 4. You put it in the calculator, and you'll get 25. Okay. Question number 4. Here, anything, this is u to the power of n. So the formula u to the power of n is n u to the power of n minus 1 times u prime. So it will be, so x squared plus 2x to the power of 4 will be equal to 4. Will be equal to 4 times u, which is x squared plus 2x to the power of 3 times u prime, which is the derivative of this, of u, which is 2x plus 2. 2x plus 2. And then they also said here again, and x is 1. So just replace x as 1. So f prime of 1 is equal to 4 times 1 to the power of 2 plus 2 times 1 to the power, all to the power of 3 times 2 times 1 plus 2. And if you solve it in the calculator, or you could solve it on paper, you get 432. Now here for question number 5, they gave you g of x is equal to u of x plus g of x is equal to u of x plus v of x, and u prime of x is 10 plus 4x minus 3x squared, and v prime of x is equal to 3x squared minus 4x plus 7. What is g prime of x equal to? So they said that they said that g is equal to u plus v, okay? And they want g prime. So g prime is the exact opposite of this. So it's u prime of x plus v prime of x. Because they want g prime. So if g prime, it will be equal to u prime plus v prime. And they already gave you u prime and they gave you v prime. So they gave you u prime as 10 plus 4x minus 3x squared. Plus, so this all plus 3x squared minus 4x plus 7. So now we add it all, so it will be 10 plus 4x minus 3x squared plus 3x squared minus 4x plus 7. So the x squared, so minus 3x squared plus 3x squared is gone. 4x minus x is gone. So the rest will be 10 plus 7, which is equal to 17. And that's question number 5. Question number 6. They gave you y is equal to 54 over radical of x plus 24 radical of x. Here, you start off by changing the radicals into the exponent. And here, since the denominator, you move it up. So it will be 54 times x to the power of negative 1 over 2 plus 24 times x to the power of 1 over 2. And then here, you know, as I said earlier, in anything to the power of system, like in a u, this is u, this is n, you solve it as the formula of u to the power of u to the power of n. So you take this, let's take this only and do it. So it will be x power of negative 1 over 2, which is equal to negative 1 over 2. And the formula is u n is n u n minus 1 u prime. You see the formula here. So you take the n, negative 1 over 2 times u, which is x, to the power of minus 1 over 2. Minus 1 is negative 3 over 2. And you got the first one. And then let's take the other one here. So we took this one here. Let's take the other one. X to the power of 1 over 2 is equal to 1 over 2 times x to the power of negative 1 over 2, because 1 over 2 minus 1 is negative 1 over 2. You finish them, so let's continue. So it will be 54 times negative 1 over 2 x to the power of negative 3 over 2 plus 24 times 1 over 2 x to the power of negative 1 over 2. And then since you times the 54 by half, which will be negative 27 x to the power of negative 3 over 2 plus 12, because you do 24 times half, 12 x to the power of negative 1 over 2. And then here, instead of putting the exponents because they're negative, you move them into a fraction. Instead of doing that, they gave you x as 9. So just replace, now you got the final like part, just replace x as 9. So if x is equal to 9, you take it. It will be 27 times 9 to the power of negative 3 over 2. You put it in the calculator, obviously, like. And then plus 12 times 9 to the power of negative 1 over 2. And when you put it on the calculator, you'll get minus 1 plus 4, which is equal to 3. And that's your final answer. Question number 7. They said that u, when x is equal to 10, so u of 10 is equal to 16, and u prime when x equals to 10, so u prime of 10 is 4. Here v of 10 is negative 3, and v prime of 10 is 2. So they said if y is equal to u of x times v of x, what is the value of derivative? Like they want dy over dx is y prime when x equals to 10. So what you do is you get the points. First, the rule is u times v, which is equal to u prime times v plus v prime times u. Okay, let's take the points. So u of 10 is 16, u prime of 10 is 4, v of 10 is negative 3, and v prime of 10 is 3. 2, it's 2. Okay. Then you take the points, you just like in this formula, just put in this formula, which is u prime 4 x 4 times minus 3 4 times negative 3 plus 2 times 16, which is minus 12 plus 32, which is equal to 20. And yeah, it's as simple as that. Question number 8. Here, as I told you, u to the power of n, which is equal to n minus 1 to the times u prime. So let's solve it. So it will be 7x12 minus 6 to the power of 1 over 4, which is equal to the n, which is 1 over 4, times u, which is 7x12 minus 6 to the power of, so 1 over 1 over 4 minus 1 is minus 3 over 4, minus 3 over 4 times u prime. The prime of this is, so 12 times 7 is 84 x power of 11, and 6 will go because the derivative of a number is gone. And then you solve, you times this by this, which is 84 times 1 over 4 is 21 x 11 times 7x 12 minus 6 to the power of negative 3 over 4. And then here they instead of putting it now all down as a fraction and like confusing yourself and stuff, just replace x as 1 because they asks for it. So it will be x equals to 1, so it will be 21 times 1 to the power of 11 times 7 times 1 to the power of 12 minus 6 to the power of negative 3 over 4. And then 21 times 1 power of 11 is 21 times 1 to the power of negative 3 over 4, because 7 times 1 power of 12 is 7, minus 6 is 1 to the power of negative 3 over 4, and 1 to the power of negative 3 over 4 is 1, so 21 times 1 is equal to 21. That's your final answer. Question 9 says in y is equal to 1 over 24 times 9 minus 8 to the power 8x to the power of 18 to the power of negative 6. Here, same thing, leave the 1 over 24 alone and take this as u to the power of n, which is n u n minus 1 u prime. It's literally in every question, like the same formula. So it will be minus 6 times u, which is 9 minus 8x to the power of 18 to the power of minus 6 minus 1. Ya Allah. Minus 6 minus 1, which is minus 7. And then times the u prime, which is 9 is gone. It will be negative. You always take the negative here, because when you do the prime, when it's like this, the 9 will go and you take the negative with this. So 18 times 8 is 144, so negative 144 x to the power of 17. And then you continue solving, which is minus 144 times negative 6, so negative will go. 144 times 6 is 864 x to the power of 17 times 9 minus 8 x to the power of 18. Now you got this, and you have the 1 over 24 outside. 1 over 24 times 1 over 24 times 864 times x to the power of 17 times 9 minus 8 x to the power of 18. Okay, after getting that, you could instead of solving it and timesing the 1 over 24, they said x equals to 1, so just replace as x equals to 1. So to be 1 over 24 times 864 to the power times 1 to the power of 17 times 9 minus 8 to the times 1 to the power of 18. And if you solve it in the calculator or by like anything, you'll get your answer as like 1 over 24 times 864, which is equal to 36. and that's your final answer. Question 10. Wait, give me a second. Here the same thing, u to the power of n, you know the formula, so just take the 5, and un is equal to n, un minus 1 times u prime. 5 times u, which is 6x7 minus 5 to the power of 5 minus 1, which is 4, times u prime, which is 7 times 6, 40. 7 times 6 is 42. 42x to the power of 7 is 6, because you do 7 minus 1, you get 6, and then you do the 42 times the 5, which is 210 x6 times 6x7 minus 5 to the power of 4. They said x equals to 1, replace x as 1, so it will be 210 times 1 to the power of 6 times 6 times 1 to the power of 7 minus 5 to the power of 4. You'll get to 210 times 1 to the power of 4, which is equal to 210. Or just replace it all in the calculator and you get the answer. Question number 11. It's the exact same thing as what we did here. We got that as 210. And it's not exact. Oh, that's not the same. It's here to the power of 7, here to the power of 5. So you just take now that, just take it, I just move this, take this u power of un, okay, leave the 3 outside, so it will be equal to n minus 1 times u prime, so it will be 4 times u 6x5 minus 5 to the power of 4 minus 1, which is 3, times u prime, which is 30x4, and yeah, that's it. And after doing that, you'll get times it by the 4 here, 120x4 times 6x5 minus 5 to the power of 3. And after doing that, you take the 3 that was left originally outside, so to be 3 times 120 x4 x 6x5 minus 5 to the power of 3. Replace x as 1, as they said in the start of the question. So it will be 3 times 120 times 1 to the power of 4 times 6 times 1 to the power of 5 minus 5 to the power of 3. And you'll get 3 times 120 times 1 to the power of 3, which is equal to 360. Okay, question number 12. They applied the chain rule. They said y is equal to x12 plus 4. Again, as I said, anything that you see with a radical, change it to an exponent, which is equal to x12 plus 4 to the power of 1 over 2. Okay. Sorry. So, and then you use the formula, which is un, which is equal to n un minus 1 u prime, like as I said a million times before, so it will be equal to 1, so it will be equal to 1 over 2 times x12 plus 4, and 1 over 2 minus 1, which is negative 1 over 2, to the times u prime, which is 12x11. Okay, and then here, look, here they did not, let me just continue, so it will be 12x11 times half, which is 6x11 times x12 plus 4 to the power of negative 1 over 2. See, here they did not tell you to replace x with any number. So here you have to continue solving. So since you have a negative exponent here, you have a negative exponent here, you move it down, they're timesing each other, you move it down as a fraction. So it'll be 6x11 over x12 plus 4 to the power of half. And to the power of half is equal to a radical of x12 plus 4. And that's your final answer. Okay, question number 13. you see it as like, wait, let me just write it here again. Y is equal to 5x squared over. So here you see it as u over v, okay, which is equal the formula as we said before, and it is u prime v minus v prime u over v squared. Now you just take, now before solving like everything, take the point so you could solve directly. So u prime v and v prime. Wait, let me just erase this because no need. Okay, and now u is 5x squared, u prime is 10x, v is x4 plus 1, and v prime is 4x3 plus 1. Okay, so now let's solve it. So y prime will be equal to u prime, which is 10x, times u prime times v, which is x4 plus 1, minus v prime, which is 4. Here I did a mistake. I wrote the v prime as 4x plus 1. It's not supposed to be plus 1 because 1 derivative of 1 is nothing. So that's my mistake. So v prime is 4x3 and u is 5x squared over v squared, which is x4 plus 1 to the power of 2. Okay, you got here, look, this is the same thing here. This is the same as this, and the down one here is the same as this, but here this one, as you see, it's 20x5. You could, because 4 times 5 is 20, and x3 times x2 is x to the power of 5, and then you'll get it equal to 10x x4 plus 1 minus 20x5 over x4 plus 1 to the power of 2, and that's your final answer. Question 14 is the same thing, which is un equals to n minus 1 times u prime. I think this formula, like different schools, they give it as like different type, and like n times u prime times u n minus 1. But in my school, they gave it as n times u to the power of n minus 1 times u prime. But it's the same thing. Okay, anyways, it will be 5x3 plus 1 power of 4, which is equal to the n, which is 4, times u, which is 5x3 plus 1. And 4 minus 1 is 3, and u prime, which is 15x squared. And then after that, you times the 15 by 4, which is 60x squared, times 50x3 plus 1 to the power, that way, what 50x? And 5x3 plus 1 to the power of 3. And here they don't want to, you see in what you have. So you got the 4, 5x to the power of 3, 5x to the power of 3 plus 1 power of 3, times 15x squared times 15x squared is equal, we got equal as 60x squared times 5x3 plus 1 power of 3, 5 times 5x3 plus 1 power of 3, which is the same thing. Question number 15. Okay, question 15 is you take this, which is u power of n, okay, you take it and you solve for it. First of all, before, you have to check on what it is. So you see, as this is u and this is v, and which is u times v, and the formula for u times v is equal to u prime v plus v prime u, صح? Okay, After that, let's take the what's given. So you will be equal to 5x. U prime will be equal to 5. خيبة. V is x minus 2 to the power of 9, and V prime is, so the derivative of this, and derivative of this is un, which is n times u n minus 1 to the power of u prime, and you solve it, which will be x minus 2 to the power of 9 equal 9 x minus 2 to the power of 8 times 1, because minus 2 will go, and x is 1, the derivative of x is 1, so it will be equal to 9 x minus 2 to the power of 8, and that's your v prime. So just go and write it here, 9 so always when you have these kind of questions, write the formulas and what you have to get, or write what you have given, so you could directly put it in the formula. That's how, like, to finish the question as fast as you can. Okay, now since you have all the points, let's just put it in the formula. U prime, which is 5, times V, which is x minus 2 to the power of 9, plus sorry V prime is 9 x minus 2 to the power of 8 times u, which is 5x. Okay, and here you could times the 5x by the 9, so you get as the 5 x minus 2 to the power of 9 plus 45 x minus 2, I forgot the bracket, to the power of 8. And then here you could cancel out this, and then you could write 5 x minus 2 to the power of 8 plus times x minus 2 plus 9x, which is equal to 5 x minus 2 to the power of 8 and 10 x minus 2. So here you could see, and you get this, the start, you got this in the start, plus 45 x minus 2 to the power of 8, and then you got it equal as this times this, and that's your answer. Question number 16. Okay, here for questions, just for you guys to know, for question 16 and 17, I'll be doing part A, and part B will be done by Lamar, and A will be for me, and part C and part D will be also done by Lamar. So question 16 part B, and question 17 part C and part D will be done by Lamar by tomorrow. So let me just do part A. You got this, which looks like Q over V, صح? So it will be equal to U prime V minus V prime U over V squared. And you get the points, which is U. U is equal to x squared minus 8x. U prime is 2x minus 8. V is equal to 6 minus x. And V prime is equal to 1. V prime is equal to 1 because x the شو اسمه مو ب1 negative 1, because it's a minus x. It's minus x, so it means that any 6 will go. The derivative of x is 1, so to be negative 1. But then you will replace it in the formula. Okay, you put in the formula, so it would be u prime, which is 2x minus 8 times v, which is 6 minus x, minus v, which is 6 minus x, no wait, times v prime, which is 1, my bad, minus 1, times u, which is x squared minus 8x, over v squared, 6 minus x to the power of 2. Sorry. And then you solve it like just times and times normally. So you do the solving. You do this times this, this times this, this times this, this times this, which will be equal to 12x minus 2x squared minus 48 plus 8x, and then minus all يعني, and then you times this and times this. Okay, it will be minus x squared plus 8x. Okay, and then going to want to times it minus, so you just times by minus here. So it will be 12x minus 2x squared minus 48 plus 8x minus يعني بيطلع x plus x squared minus plus بيطلع minus 8x. So it will be minus 2x squared plus x squared is minus x squared. 12x plus 8x minus 8x is plus 12x, and then minus 48. Now you're done with the numerator. Now you do the denominator, which is 6x minus 2, 6 minus x to the power of 2, and that's your final answer for part A. And don't forget, part B will be done by Lamar on tomorrow or whenever she can. The question 17, part A and B. Okay, here this is, as you see, u to the power of n. Here you could derivative عادي يعني, no need to do the formulas and stuff, so it will be 6x minus 9. And now that, leave it alone. So take this, so it will be, let's move here, it is 5x plus 1 to the power of 4. Okay, so let's take the exponent, and then 5x plus 1 to the power of 3 times 5, I think, yeah, 5. And then you times the 5 by 4, which is 25x plus 1 to the power of 3. And now the thing that you did from the start, like move it with it, add it with it. So it will be 25x plus 1 to the power of 3 plus 6x minus 9. And that's your final answer, which is 25x plus 1 to the power of 3, 5x plus 1 to the power of 3, plus 6x minus 9, plus 6x minus 9. Okay, part B. I'm gonna do it like down here, because I have space here. Okay, let's take the whole thing, which is 4x 5 minus 8x squared plus 6 over radical of x. Okay, here you could derivative this and this normally. So it will be 20x4 minus 16x. And this, you always, first of all, move it up. Don't make it denominator. So it will be, so let's just take this alone. أول شيء عشان you have space. So it will be 6 times x power of negative half, because you move it up as negative, and the radical is half. And as you can see, this is the formula of c times u, which is c times u prime. That's the is equal to c times u prime. And u prime, let's do it. So it will be, so x power of negative 1 over 2 is equal to negative half x to the power of minus 3 over 2. Because you derivative as a normal derivative, okay? After getting that, you take the 6 that you got from the start, because you do 6 times negative 1 over 2 x power of negative 3 over 2 times by half, negative half, so it will be negative 3 x power of negative 3 over 2. And then since it's a negative, you move it down. Well, I'm gonna go back up there because there's no space anymore down. So the last thing, we move it down, so to be negative 3 over radical of x to power of 3. And since the radical is like a 2 here, and a visible 2, you cannot keep this bigger than 2. So you have to simplify it. So to be negative 3 over radical of x times x times x. Now you could simplify those two x's out. So at the end, it will be negative 3 over x radical of x. That's your final answer for that. So here what you got at the start, you add this with it. So it will be 20x4 minus 16x minus 3 over x radical of x. And as you see here, 20x4 minus 16x minus 16x minus 3 over x radical x is here. Remember, part C and D for question 17 and part B for question 16 will be explained tomorrow by Lamar. And thank you for watching the video.